Hello. It has been a while since I've been on live, but I am so glad. I'm Helen Sattler, your Destiny Helper, and I'm so glad to be on with you. I have missed coming on live with you all so much. Thank you so much for being with me. I'm waiting for you to come on, and we are going to answer some questions today, and we're going to talk about malignant uh, transferring. What happened when you transfer uh, from one life to another life, and that transfer take on the life or the habits or the behavior of the narcissist, because many of you that has taken on that behavior are probably wondering what is wrong with me. Why am I acting like this? Why am I being like this? What is going on with me? So, we're going to answer that question. Um, I got some people on. I don't know why I'm not seeing them on now. Maybe you will come in. Hopefully, you can hear me okay. Let's see if we can get you on. Let's see if we can get you on. Well, let's see. Let's keep going. Let's see where we go with this. Hopefully, you all can see me and hear me well. I can see that I have people on, but I'm not seeing your names right now. And I'm hoping that they come up. But I wanted to say good morning to you. When you transplant something, you take it from one area, one arena, to another arena. And sometimes what happens is the narcissists actually transplant themselves in the lives of another person. It reminds me how sometimes some wasp does. It actually go into another insect and plant their eggs in there. Okay, we're getting it. Good morning, GE. How are you? I'm glad to have you on board. It has been a while. I missed you guys. I don't know what happened with YouTube. I couldn't come on live. I could do videos. Once I could do the videos, I started doing the videos. So I don't know what happened there, but thank God that I'm back on. GE, thank you so much for being with me. Hello there. Jasmine, how are you? Thank you for being with me. Glad to have you on board on this morning. I'm excited, and I'm excited about the question of transplanting. What happens when you feel like you have become what the narcissist is, and all of your good characters, good traits are leaving you, and you're becoming angry, you're becoming bitter, you're becoming wounded, you're becoming lost, you're losing who you are. Hello, Georgette, how are you? Oh, having a great conference. Thank you, thank you. I hope that you can get a chance to come to a conference that we're having this weekend. It's going to be awesome. My spiritual father is coming from Africa, and it's going to be a tremendous blessing. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about when you are transplant. I'm going to talk about transplanting, and I'm going to talk about transferring. They are the same, but they denote differently in the landing. Soaring feathers, how are you? Good morning to you. Thank you for being with me on today. But when you talk about transplanting with a narcissist relationship, you be with the narcissist so long, and the narcissist is offending you, hurting you, wounding you on purpose, destroying your emotional balance, destroying your mental balance until your whole life goes off course. When your whole life goes off course, emotions, negative emotions rise up in you, and these negative emotions become attraction puller or attraction cap, suction cap. It starts sucking from The narcissist, their behavior mode. And where they are bitter, now you are bitter. Where they are angry, now you are angry. Where they don't care, now you don't care. And so the narcissist is constantly releasing themselves to you, and you find yourself slowly diminishing. You are diminishing from who you are because you have a malignant transplant. Now, malignancy let you know that it's bad, it's not good, it's violent. And it's terrible. It is very, very horrific when you talk about malignancy. And so this malignancy transference, not transference, transplanting. When you transplanting something, you're putting something in because something was taken out. Was taken out of you is your goodness. What is taken out of you is your strength. What is taken out of you is your tenacity, your will, your thriving, your dreams, your ambition, your goals. All of these things are taken out. Your hope is taken out. And so when all of these things are taken out, the narcissists come in and transplant. They put into you. When you get an organ transplant, that means something was removed out and something was placed in. And so when they are placing in a transplant, hello there, Ruth Duncan, how are you? Thanks for being with me. They are putting in whatever it is they want to put in, but they're taking out something that is good. All the stuff you taking out, hope, you have faith, you love God. They want to take that out where you don't love God. And then they keep questioning you about your spirituality. They keep questioning you about you being a real Christian. They keep questioning you, whatever religion you are, if you are even that for real. They keep questioning you where you're committed. When you go to church, are you really going to church? And then what are you learning from church? Because since you've been to church, I noticed that you've gotten worse. And if these words I keep saying to you, you start to believe them. Hello, Taravia. How are you? It's good to have you on board. I've missed you guys so much. I'm telling you, and I'm so glad that you are back on. Now that I can come back on live, I am looking forward to coming back on live. But check this out. So, all of the greatness, all of the goodness that you have, you almost don't believe that you have them anymore because of the transplant. The narcissist transfer fear when you used to have faith. The narcissist transfer hope. She said, that I am happy to see you so alive. Oh, thank you. I am so happy to be here. But the narcissists start deliberating with you of what you gonna give up, and they almost tell you, and what they tell you is nobody loves you, nobody cares because you're selfish. She said, what is the title for today? Today's title is Malignant Transplanting. It's malignant transplanting because the narcissist transplants his personality into, if he's cheating, he transplants that you're cheating. And then he accuse you of controlling his life. He tell you, I'm not cheating, I'm being faithful. That is your insecurity. You are insecure and you are accusing me of cheating when I love you so much and I'm faithful, and you have evidence right there. So the gaslighting is to confuse you, to bring you to what you don't know is real. Gaslighting is to confuse you so till you just lose your mind. You don't know what is a reality. You don't know what is real. You don't know what is true. You are totally confused. You can see something with your own eyes. And when the narcissist finish with you, that narcissist will have you in denial of what your eyes saw. You said, but I saw you talking to her. And the narcissist will say, I wasn't talking to her. I wasn't talking to her. I didn't say nothing to her. She was asking me the time. I was telling her the time. He was like, no, you were eating with her. No, we weren't eating. And if I were eating, I was just hungry. I just decided to sit down. But there was nothing going on. That's you. That's you being suspicious. That's you trying to control me. That's you saying I'm doing all these things. And then you're looking, and they're looking at you with a straight face, transplanting doubt, transplanting insecurity, transplanting confusion. She said, I made it She said, I made it. Oh, there you guys go. All righty then. She said, I made it for 1 year from being away from him. And this is actually the first anniversary this week. Now I have to make it to February 19th with no contact. That's a long time. Good job. What people don't realize is a narcissistic relationship is a relationship of trauma bonding. It's a relationship of pain. It is never meant for you to be without pain because they can't have you without pain. And anytime you leave a narcissist and go back, expect a greater pain, expect greater torment. You will be punished. You will be punished for leaving what shouldn't be left because you're supposed to be so in love, so addicted that you have an inability to leave, and they supposed to be so extravagant and holding you forth until you don't have the capacity to leave them. And so when they transplant you, they are transplanting that you need me. You have to have me. You can't live without me. I'm the best that you've ever had. I'm the best that has ever come to you. No one has loved you like I loved you. And you're thinking, if this is love, what is torture? But to them, they think they're love. That's why the love bombing, whatever you do in this series of narcissistic relationship, please hem in on the love bombing. Look at all the things that happen in the love bombing. The effects of your body, the effects of your mind, your brain is actually rerouted. Your emotions is rerouted. Everything about you rerouted. Your time is rerouted. Your associates are rerouted. Sometimes they will even reroute your career, your education. In the love bombing, everything start fixating around the narcissist. That's why it takes 3 to 6 months, because to bring your world to a world turn, they need to reroute. So they're gonna need to transplant. When you get a transplant, you carry that within you. When you transplant a kidney, you carry that new kidney within you. But everybody know usually in most transplant, you get rejections. And so you start rejecting that bad behavior of the narcissist. You start thinking, I'm not a person who is bitter. I'm usually a person who is caring. But what happened with that transplant and that bad transplant, that malignant transplant, you stop caring. You stop reaching out. You stop loving. And then what happened? Now you love only the narcissist. You want to love other people, but they are occupying your time. So now he transplants the leisure of your moment to the fulfillment of your moment with him, with her. So everything that you have as a narcissist, being with the narcissist, it starts to increase. It starts to strengthen itself. And you find your whole life is synergistically around the narcissist. When you go to the store, it's what they want. When you go to your job, you're thinking about them all day. If you go to the hospital as a result of something they did and you couldn't take the pressure and your stress level or whatever it is that deals with them. And with your children, the way you raise your children, you can't raise your children. It's their voice, their desires. What's something you wear, they don't like what you wear. Your hair, they want you to cut your hair. You cut your hair. Why did you cut your hair? I don't like your hair. You told me to cut it. Well, I don't like it. And so then you go get a wig. Why you wearing a wig? I want your natural hair. So all of these variables is called transplanting. They need to secure what they put inside you. You can carry it. And when you carry it, you will mature it, you will nurture it, you will fixate it, you will focus on it, and you will grow it. And every time you deliberate, the narcissist will be hearing themselves. But the thing about it, when the narcissists start hearing themselves, guess what goes into operation? Devaluation. Because the narcissists usually hate themselves. They don't want to hear themselves. They want to transfer your goodness. Well, you can't take goodness and put it in an evil vessel and it works. So even when they're transplanting what they think they want you to be, the evil in them kills everything that's good. It won't let it last. That's why when the narcissists tell you, I love you, it doesn't last. When our narcissists tell you, I need you and want to be with you, they be with you till they get tired of you, and it doesn't last. The love bombing is seasonal. It's temporary. It's just like the 4 season. That when you're in the winter will pass. Doesn't matter how cold it get, how icy it get, how dangerous it will pass. And that's the way it is. When the narcissist say I love you, really is how you love yourself. Hello, Petra. She said, I cannot breathe around a narc. Well, they're very choking. They choke the life out of you. And this is what I'm saying, because everything evolves around them. Everything, everything, your job, your career, your finances, your investment, your mind, your thoughts, your dreams, everything evolves around them. They can't even stand you having a dream and the dream was not connected to something they are or something they want to do. Then they think you going aloof, because how can you be without me? I'm the greatest thing you ever had, and I should be suspended in every area of your life, including your dreams. Narcissists want you to dream of them. They will attack your dream, especially those that are really dealing in spiritual things and witchcraft. They go in your dreams. They meet you in your dreams. They talk to you in your dreams. They give message in your dreams. In your dreams, you dream you're talking to them, and the narcissist give you the message he want to give you, but he give it to you in your dream. Excuse me, and you wake up and the narcissist would tell you what you dreamed, and they tell you what they said in the dream, where you know it is totally demonic. And so when you are dealing with demonic spirits in your body, it will have an effect on you. And some of you have seen shadows in the house. You've seen the narcissist. You've seen things move in the house. The narcissist, the way they move when they get in certain spirits, it affects the way they move. And we're going to talk about the supernatural and the narcissist. Hello, Earth Harvester. How are you? The supernatural and the narcissist, where the narcissists become one with that demonic force, and they move a little bit different, almost creepy. And when you feel it in the house, it feels crazy in the house, and you got this fear. And then that narcissistic stare happen, and it's empty and it's blatant and it's intense, and it's like it's looking through your soul, and it's almost like they vacate out of their mind, out of their body for a minute, and you're trying to talk to them and they don't understand anything you're saying. Then when they get back in their body, they get back and start off where they left off, like nothing never happened. Narcissistic transplant. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of energy. That's a lot of time. And if you've been with a narcissist, excuse me, any amount of time, 6 months, a year, you notice the transplant. You notice you start to change, because usually after 6 months, 3 to 6 months, the mask starts slipping off. Things start happening. Sometimes it slipped before then. But the narcissist and the grade of the narcissist, the greater narcissist is very, very in control. They are very in control. It's mind-boggling how much control, how much order, how organized they are. The mid narcissist is a little more mellow. He mellow out a little bit. The lower narcissist can be very hypertensive, can hold nothing down, can stabilize. He's a vagabond, and he like physical fight. And the upper lower, where the lower mid grade, they fight. They're violent. All the other narcissists can be violent, but they are violent in a different way. They think. Like the greater narcissist is a thinker. They are manipulative. They're very calculative. Everything is organized. They know what they're doing. The lower narcissists do not. They don't even know that they are a narc a lot of times. And this is GB said, she said, my narc did not want me to train at the gym with an instructor. She said, I was instructed to video call him, and so he could instruct me. If I did, she said, if I did not, he would give me the silent treatment, because they're very jealous. They're very jealous. And see, they are jealous, and they will have you jealous. That's why the narcissist will mention names of people that you know. and it would seem like they got something going on, or he'll brag on someone how great they are just to make you jealous. These emotions belong to the narcissist. They don't belong to you. But what happened is, if you keep being around the narcissist, you will start taking ownership, because you usually are open door for the narcissist. Doors are opportunity, gates are authority, windows are inspiration, pathway are directional, and you become an open door. She said, I still see things move, and it's been a year. I look at his picture and it's still evil. I can't look at the picture without getting an evil spirit looking at me. This is Teravia. See, but you got to remember what you're dealing with. A narcissistic spirit is not a godly spirit. God didn't give them that spirit. It's not a godly spirit. God don't go around hurting people, misusing people, trauma bonding just to drop you, devaluating you, lying. God doesn't do that. So what kind of spirit is it if it's not of God? Hello, Jay Gardner. How are you, Prophetess Jamila? Yeah. So all of these things are occurring because he wants to do a transplant, and is very calculative. And one thing I've noticed is, when a narcissist is a narcissist real for a while, they begin to know what they're doing. If it's, she said, if it's a good feeling, I watched his body change when that thing has taken over. Always, always. You'll notice they're a different person when that spirit comes. Good morning, Melissa. How are you? You are up this morning. She said, good morning, Apostle. Thank you so much for your encouragement and information. She said, I had two narcs. My 1-year-old twin father abused and abandoned, and I had to realize my mom as well. Please have a session on grandparents and moving from your mom. Okay, so saved by grace is that is a family of narcs. So your mom, your dad, your grandmother, grandfather, they was all narcissists too. If it was, give me an answer. Give me an answer. When you live with a family of narcissists, I think everybody that is on here know that is hell beyond hell, because just one of them is something. She said, what was the lesson the person that the person taught us? Can you repeat that, Teravia? So in the transfer plant, saved by grace, my mom and my ex are narcissists. Okay, so the grandmother came to the rescue. She said, thank you so much for your help. I had a narc family. Oh my God. Yeah, we need to talk about that when you are in the mid. You know what? But usually narcissists, when you have a narcissist parent, you will be amazed what they produce. It's amazing. Sometimes they produce the most sensitive children. Some of them present have narcs, and even if the narcissists learn that based on how they're treated, because you got the golden child and you have the scapegoat. The scapegoat is abused, and the golden child become narcissistic because they put everything into them. They make everything about themselves, so they grow up with self-caring, self-connection, self-love, and they fall in love with themselves, and everybody outside of them are strangers. So the narcissist is geared toward themselves, and they wasn't traumatized. They was over how can I say, compensated for how they look, how they act. So the golden child is overcompensated for. And one day I would teach that. I would teach on the golden child. You will be amazed. The golden child. And people said all narcs come out of torture. That's why they stop. No, some narcissists are raised up. They are bred into narcissism. They are raised up into narcissism. They are believed into narcissism. They never do anything wrong, and they make them the primate because all of the other siblings get ignored or get persecuted. 230 days out of crazy town from living with the king of hell. She said, I was raised by two narcs. It's funny, from my mom just told me I was the most sensitive. Oh, that you are the most sensitive. Start cutting people off, family, friends. Mm. So you start cutting people off, family and friend. All right. And Melissa said, just looking at my mom's picture still give me torment. I don't even look at it anymore. But see, the spirit world is real. And believe it or not, we don't even have to convince people. We don't have to convince people of any religion. We don't have to convince people of any ethnicity because life now has presented itself so until most people have had a spiritual experience with someone or by themselves until they know the spirit world is real. And the narcissists know it more than anybody. And so when you get a narcissist and the narcissist start transplanting, you got to be very careful because you will start acting like the narcissist, thinking like the narcissist. And so the narcissist then start living on your pain as a primary supply. And he will go out because you have been tainted. So that means the narcissist have to go out and he keep new supply or she keep new supply because you got to remember the new supply is perfect until the era or the humanity is discovered. So that narcissist can enjoy perfection. She said, very true. Yeah, that narcissist can enjoy perfection with that new supply. Temporary. That's why in the teaching, I call it temporary perfection because it won't last too long because who you are going to really come out and it bothers the narcissist for you to get into who you are because they can't handle your reality because they can't handle their reality. And the narcissists know with pain, we usually retaliate. So if they get you to where you are submitted and you are subjected to them, you won't retaliate like you would normally retaliate. And that will give the narcissist more control over you. And the narcissist is after full control. They cannot live with two people operating one body, yours. They want your body and they don't want you to have your body. So they want one person to sanction what happens in your body, that happens in your mind. And transplanting does that because you would carry whatever they put in you. And what they carry, what you carry would destroy you inside. It would destroy your body. It would destroy your mind. And they know that. So they're going to take you to death. If you got one breath left, the narcissists want that last breath. That's why the narcissists compete against God because God, there's nobody over God. So the narcissists want God out because the narcissist want what he don't want anything he cannot compete against. So he transplant doubt with God. He transplant questions with God. He transplant like God can't do it. God didn't do it. God don't hear you. And then after you, and he keeps you from church, he have a raging fit every time you go to church because if you go to church, she said, wow, that sounds like demon possession. Well, the demon is definitely in them and it's rooting them. And so what happened with the narcissist is the narcissist don't want you to go to church because the church is an information center. If you have a real church, that church is going to teach the word of God. And as that church teach the word of God, you're going to grow, you're going to expand, you're going to get stronger. And when you get stronger, they cannot handle your strength. So now they got to get more fuel out because they got to come back to traumatize you while they are love bombing somebody else. And they get all of these good love bombing experience from this person. And this person make them feel like $1,000,000. This person make them feel alive. This person make them feel like they're not so bad because they are mirroring the love of this person. And this person is new. That's why narcissists love new supply. It's an inexperience. They never had an experience with them. They are new, and it takes the narcissist to phases that they never thought they could go. It's euphoric for them. It's like taking a drug. Every time they go to that new supply, they are looking for that first high. The first high when they recognize what they were doing. That is a high off the world. So they keep looking for that high in love bombing. And so they love bomb the new supply. They go to the new supply. The new supply is perfect. They will fight for that new supply. That new supply could be 1,000 pounds, so fat until you got to find her eyeballs. That narcissist gonna hunt that eyeball because he gonna find it. Why? Because it's new supply. He don't care how big they are. He don't care how ugly they are because they are new. She said these evil people would be glad to go back to their hellish home. This is Audrey. Yeah. Yeah. Because they always return. You always return from where you came from. That's the beacon. The new supply is the beacon. That's why the narcissists fight. They torment the new. The primary supply is always tortured the worst. It's what the narcissists want the most. What they want the most, they torture the worst because that person that they torture the worst spend more time with them. They got more rights. They can call them. The narcissists give them more privileges. And so when the narcissists give you more privileges, you are going to pay for those privileges. You're going to be in pain for those privileges. So the transplant is we give you privileges, I'm going to give you pain. I'm going to plant pain for the privileges that I'm giving you. That's the honorary code of the narcissist. And the honorary code is playing for pleasure. Pain for privilege is really torture for privilege and pain for pleasure. So what the narcissists give, there is always a catch. They never give anything for free. Even if it's a gift, if the narcissists give you a gift, that gift is going to cost you a lot of money. Excuse me. And sometimes the narcissist may even give you money in the love bombing stage or in whatever stage. He'll give you money. You will pay for that money. There is a cost for that money. Nothing is free with the narcissist. Absolutely nothing. You pay for everything in narcissistic time. What can you do with a transplant? When you are with a narcissist and you cannot leave, Sheila, how are you? She said, what about the narcissist mother? Okay, she said, if they discard you or give you the silent treatment, how do you know if or when they will be back so so you can prepare for it? And Jasmine said, wow, now I understand what that anger, bitterness, and negative emotions were from me. Yeah, that's exactly right. She said, I always wonder how does a narcissist date another narc end up marrying you. Wait a minute, let me get that again. I always wonder how does a narcissist date another narc end up marrying you. Well, two narcissists can join together. It is a turbulent relationship. It usually doesn't last. They destroy each other because they got the same trait. They're going to compete. They got to be number one. So it doesn't work. It doesn't work with them. Um, and the one that was asking me about the narcissist mom, when you have a narcissist mom, that mother is in all of your business. That mother is controlling. That mother controls usually her son. You would, when you were dealing with a narcissist and their mom, you almost question their relationship, whether they have a legitimate relationship or whether relationship has crossed boundaries because the mother is controlling even as the son. Um, she said hands full of money, lots of it during the love bombing. She said nothing for child support. Exactly. Had to dock his pay because it was love bombing. Nothing in love bombing is real. She said, so true. Mean, vile people took me a while to realize, yes, she was apostle. Yeah. A narcissist mom is very, very, very controlling. She said, I was the scapegoat. She read diaries and stood my money and targeted my children. Yeah. Oh, they are married. Okay. Yeah, the narcissists don't care anything about family. They care about themselves. Family subject themselves to them. She said, when I used to pray, he would say to me that, what kind of prayers am I doing? I don't know what a husband is. Everything a narcissist does, once you know what you're dealing with, if you're married to a narcissist, you usually can't just get up and leave. You have to know how to deal with them. And you have to build yourself. They say grow gray rock. They don't always work because they keep on, keep on, keep on, keep on, keep on. When they gaslight you, they keep on, keep on, keep on, keep on, keep on until they wear you down and they wear you into an emotion where normally you wouldn't say nothing, but they wore you out of your gray rock. They wore you in to an emotional rage because you feel like you're losing your mind. You feel like you're going crazy. You're grabbing your head. So why don't you be quiet? I've already told you 1,000 times it was you. And they like, oh, no, it was you. You always accuse me. Now I can't sleep. Now you hurt me. Now you. And they keep on. They will leave and come back and say the same thing. She said, my view of people that's really changed where I don't want to be around people at all, but I was always alone and I don't trust anyone. That's their whole game. That's the narc whole game. See, the narc really is designing a sculpture, but he's doing a sculpture from the inside. He's designing your mind to think like he wants, transplanting. He's designing your heart to feel like he wants, transplanting. He's designing your thoughts to be pulled toward him, and he occupy your thoughts. And if he occupy your thoughts, you won't have time for anybody else. Even parents who's married to narcissists, the narcissists take up the time with their children. Children get neglected in the house, and the mom have to teach the children to be self-sustaining because the narcissist requires so much attention when they're there, and then when they're not, because some narcissists can leave and be gone for days because they're with the new supply. That's the only time the mother gets relief, and that's the only time the mother can be with the children. But by that time, the children are already damaged. She said, does not always know what he is doing. Sometimes they do. The lower narcissists, if they have enough experience, they don't know they're narcissists, but they know what they're feeling. They know when I treat her like this work. And they got enough people, and usually the lower narcissist, very violent, very insecure, very unstable. So when they love you and they beat you, and then you come running back to them, they beat another, and she come running back. He beat them. He beat them into submission, and he feels that they like it because they keep coming back. So he keep beating them. Then as he get wiser and stronger, he may grow into something else with his mind. He don't always stay a lower narcissist, because a narcissist can grow into narcissism, and the narcissism has capacity, and they can grow into something that's greater than what they started off as. And so once that happens, then you're dealing with a higher level of narcissists. And you can see them growing over the years that you stay with them, because now they're doing things and they don't went to other supply. They never did that with you, but they did it with that other supply. And now they brought that the mirroring of that supply to you. And they transplant that supply until they find a new supply, because they remember that was their last level of perfection. He told me I destroy everyone. He said, not me, and rebuke him. I knew I was in a spiritual warfare. Exactly. Demons would attack me when I was around him. Yep, and when you sleep. Always crazy dreams. She said, I've gone through different people that the narcissist uh, games, and I have no trust. When you're dealing with a narcissist, baby, the years you spent, especially if you had narcissistic parents on top of that, and you're drawn, women who had a narcissistic father are usually drawn to narcissistic men. They are trying to perfect their dad in the relationship. And so the narcissists remind them of their dad. And so they think they can change the narcissist by going to the narcissist, being with the narcissist, and they don't change the narcissist. The narcissist, as long as he's a narcissist, don't change. Um, she said, my mother is a narcissist. She turned my own kids against me. Everything she does, someone that has to pay for it at the end of it. Absolutely. She said, mine drove me to mental torture, always accusing me of cheating when I knew he was not true. Right? Transplanting used to place tape recorder around and would start an argument on purpose to try to get me to talk. Because he needed to transplant what he did to your faithfulness. My mother's a narcissist and she ruled me with fear, guilt, and shame. I'm 7 weeks, no contact. Yay, Sheila. We applaud you, girl. I fight every second of the day not to call him. My mind floods with him every day and night. Okay? Let me tell you. When you go no contact, that's what's going to happen. You got to remember the narcissist trained you. He trained your mind in the direction he was. He trained your thoughts in the direction he was. He trained your feeling in the direction he was. He trained your sexual passion in the direction he was. And so a narcissist has a tendency to be very good at what they do. And then when you go somewhere else, it doesn't satisfy. First of all, you don't have all of those endorphins working in your body. You don't have all of that cortisol, all of those dopamine. So all of those hormones works in your body to help you be addicted to the narcissist. Then you got all this stuff going on in your mind, in your thoughts, in your dreams. And when the narcissist love bomb you, you had their time. You had their mind. They didn't care what it take to hook you. They was in, and you thought that's why you thought you was in love with them, because they did whatever it took to reel you in. So when you're thinking of the narcissist, your mind is trained. You're going to have to untrain your mind. You're going to have to untrain your mind. You're going to have to untrain your mind of thinking of the narcissist. You got to put something else in your brain. Get a book, read. Every time you think of them, read. Start quoting scripture or quoting positive affirmations out loud. Take yourself for a walk. Go and get yourself tea, excuse me, and coffee. Excuse me, let me take a drink here. But the narcissist, that's what they're dependent, because when they come back for the Hoover, and most of them will come back, it's not over. You think it's over. They will come back. When they come back for the Hoover, you ready. Take a few words, boom. You look at them, and when you look at them, the addiction starts all over again. Unless you control that. The narcissist will always be in your mind. He will always be in your mind. He will always be on your mind. He will even be in your dreams. You will think about him all day. You think about a smell. You think about a restaurant, because the narcissist is very, very, very um, trained. How can I say methodical with you? Excuse me. Very methodical with you. They want you to think of them always, always, and they don't want you to think of nothing else. So when you're thinking of the narcissist, you are trained. You have to break that training. You got to break that mind. You may need a therapist. My daughter, you may be familiar with her, Dr. Carmen Bryant. You may want to go to her site if you're not on already. Go to her site. She is a professional therapist, because when you see a therapist, you want one who specializes in narcissism, because a regular therapist is going to end up being more tormenting than the narcissist, because a lot of stuff they're going to blame you. They're going to turn the attention of blame to you, and it's not your fault. I want you to know that you are addicted. You have been trained in this addiction and you are breaking an addiction. And you need to be in a place where you can safely break that addiction. Amen. Hello, Just Queen from Amsterdam. Thank you for being with me all the way from Amsterdam. She said, I question myself many times why I always have bad dreams because you're with the narcissist and they're demonic. Well, let me put it like this, the spirit, because we're talking spirit. Now, I understand it is personality disorder professionally, but so let me say what they do is totally demonic. It's totally demonic. And you can put the rest with that. That narcissists don't care about anything but themselves. You said, do the narcissists love their children? If the children can help meet their needs, they will love them. But it can be dangerous because some narcissists will have their children. They will sexually be involved with their children. Some of them will. And some narcissists don't cross the line in that arena, but some will because they see the children as an extension of themselves. They will have that child. They will have that child. And some narcissists, the way they think is totally perverted, so you have to protect your children. She said, I remember my son's father using a body spray that every now and then when I smell it, I remember him. She said, he and I had a song too. Yeah, you were trained. That's what you call training, baby. She said, my family moved me 7 hours away. My heart tells me to leave and go back to him. My family moved me 7 hours away. My heart tells me to leave and go back to him every second of the day. But I remember the torment and went through, and I'm trying to apply logic, not emotional thinking. There was one young lady on that emailed me that looked at my video. She took a rubber band around her hand. Every time she thought of the narcissist, she popped that band. She popped that band. She said, and it reminds her of the pain, and it kept her from calling him until she stayed away from him because she remembered the pain. You must be new in your no contact order. And no contact order that your life has said that you want in place. You got to listen to it. If you go back, you're going to be tortured worse than you were before. You will be tortured worse. There's no thing that going back to a narcissist and not paying for not being there. Yeah, she said, wow, that's brilliant. Yep, she took that rubber band and she would pop it. It will always remind her, and it kept her out until she was able to. Because you don't get rid of the narcissist and get over the narcissist till you can get him out of your mind. Hello, M. Mitch, how are you? All the way from North Carolina. Hello there. Good to have you on board. But so the narcissist trains you with smell, eateries. They train you with association. They train you with event. They train you with dressing. They train you with everything. She said, yeah, that rubber band works wonders. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And you got to remember, when you go back to pain, pain always increases. And you're putting markers on your brain. And when your brain remember that, your brain don't remember that it was yesterday. Your brain feels everything as if it happens today. And just Queenie said, I suspect my mother being a narcissist. It is normal to have doubts about it. Is it no? Of course. Of course. Especially covert narcissists, they are able to hide themselves. Hello, Lyd Landauer. How are you? So narcissists, especially your covert, they always hide themselves. They are beautiful to the people outside and they're crushing to their own family. They go in their house and have a rampage and go outside and grow angel wings. That's the covert. You have to pick up on them. And this is, hello there, Debo. How are you? Hello, Apostle Sadler. Welcome back. Oh, I missed you all. So for a minute, I was not able to live stream. I was restricted from live streaming. So, but whatever they needed to resolve, they resolved it, and I am so glad. I missed you all too. She said, "Yes, I'm new. 2 weeks." No, oh, baby girl, you only 2 weeks. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You gonna have all that. Yeah, you gonna. She said, "That's my mom, narcissistic mom to a T." You're gonna have all that. You're only 2 weeks out. You're fresh out. You need people around you. The people on this uh, program, these people will strengthen you. They will encourage you. So I try to come on live more than once a week. I don't have a particular time because of my schedule when I come on live, but uh, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if anybody on here that have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Push that bell and like and share the page. Every time I come on, you will get an alert. We need to be here for you, baby. We want to help you, Kate. It's not an easy road. She said, stay strong. It gets better each week. Oh, thank you, Shell. Thank you so much. Come on, y'all. Let's encourage her. See how Satan tries to stop progress. Debo, that's what I said. Absolutely. She said, just for you, Kate. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to take time, baby, and it's hard. It's hard because the love bombing the narcissist did, they mirror and reflect that back to you, and you grew in love with them. You didn't know love could feel so good. Those bad boys, bad girls, they know how to love bomb. I give them some credit. They know how to do it, and they do it right. They give you the golden treatment. And when they come back, you may get the bronze treatment. You may not even get love bomb the second time around like you did the first time. Because the first time you got the golden treatment because you were new. The second time they know some stuff about you, so you get the bronze treatment. 6 years of him, life feel extremely weird without him. Oh my God. I know, baby girl. I know. But I promise you, you're going to do it. And when you do it and you do it and you keep staying no contact, you're going to be glad you did. She said, I wanted to go to college. He did not want me to go. I registered anyway. He beat me. Oh, yeah. You were the Lord narcissist. You were the Lord narcissist. They're violent to the point of murder. Be careful how you handle a lower narcissist or a lower mid narcissist. Don't play with those boys. Don't play with those girls. They're violent for a reason. And if they tell you they're going to do something, get out of Dodge because they usually carry it out. They usually carry it out. My experience with the lower narcissist and the lower mid narcissist, if they said something, the ones that I've had to counsel, the wives that survive when they say we'll kill a child, kill you. A lot of them they killed that person because they didn't leave when it was time to leave, and they end up dying to stay with them. She said you have to forgive them, not excusing the behavior, but detach your mind from them. And the more you heal, you'll see why forgiveness is important. Yes, because forgiveness is a release valve. It's a disconnect. It's detaining, detraining, and it's releasing you. So when you forgive someone, you're taking the hooks out of your skin, out of your brain. You're taking it out of your timeline. When you begin to do that and you start to forgive them, you start to heal. And sometimes we got to get the narcissist even out of our timeline. This is saved by grace. It says 6 months for me and my 1 year old twins from their narc father. He did not sign the birth certificate, and I'm in. She said, and I'm in therapy, and now I am able to cut off my mother 3 weeks, and she's lying. She is a lying and rage. Whoa. And then Teravia said, that's mine from times. I still think about him, but I have to remember everything he did to me was not good, right? And there's no easy way to walk away from it, from enough. And that's hard not to think about him. Oh, of course. You can, let me tell you something. You're going to think about him. You're going to think about them. They're going to run across your mind. But the more you stay away, the stronger you're going to get. And you have to stay away. You have to talk to yourself. Go to a mirror and talk to yourself. Tell yourself, girl, you better remember. Remember why you left. See, the thing is, you got to remember why you are at no contact. It's hard when you've been discarded because they did it. But when you have a no contact, you did it. And when you have a no contact, remember why you have a no contact. I will not go back. I will not get involved again. I will not. I will not. I will to be free. H.G. Tudo, which is a greater narcissist, a very dangerous one, greater narcissist, but he's telling you information. And you know what he says? He said, and the reason I said dangerous because a greater narcissist, the way they think, the way they calculate, he's not a murderer. He's not that. He's just calculative with his mind because they're a thinker. And most of them are brilliant. Most of them are brilliant. Uh, but he said, once you know they are a narcissist, go. He said, and when you go, don't come back. Now, this is from a narcissist. Once you know, you go and don't come back. Vicky McDonald said, 1 week and no contact, but God has led me to people like you, and you stay with people like me. You're going to get better and better and better and better. Melissa said, I tell myself, snap out of it. You have to talk to yourself. She said, safety. Do all the routines. Tell them you love them until you are safe and out already. Well, you feed a dog and he'll stay with you. Um, I personally think you should start building yourself because once they don't get fueled, they leave. You fuel them, they stay. And it takes you to get into them to fuel you. A real smart narc, you remember they done played with emotions a lot. And they can be hard to fool, but being Christian, we have power and we have authority. Now, if you are dealing with a demon spirit, God's spirit is always stronger. Now, this sometimes is where me and the professionals may disagree. I always believe that God's spirit is greater than any demon spirit. And he can overthrow it. The only thing about being free, you got to want it. And the only thing about wanting it, you got to be realistic about that you need it. And most narcissists will not confess they need anything to help them. She said, we have released spiritual powers on them, rebuke them, and you have windows of time to get out. Don't let it close. Yes, ma'am. And this is Maria. She said, it's been a year since I was left. I was with him for 15 years. I truly saw his rage. We decided to end our marriage. He said I could stay as long as I needed. We made an agreement to be cordial. Never with a narc. Uh, Shell said, people seem nicer in the world since I went no contact. My narcissist mom. As long as she's not a narc, but remember, sometimes the narc may control that mom. His rage showed up, and I just walked out. Girl, I would not blame you. I would not blame you. Uh, there are telltale signs when it's over. There's telltale signs when it's time to go. There's telltale signs when it's time to leave. You can feel when your life is in jeopardy. But a lot of times with the narcissist, you will take a compromise because you will negotiate with your own brain that it can't be like that. He will never hurt me. No, he will not only hurt you, some narcissists will actually kill you. And they will feel justified. They don't feel like they did anything wrong. They feel like they had to because of your behavior. So just like the narcissists don't love, the narcissists don't take into account that when they hurt you, they've done something wrong. They feel like you deserve it. Saved by Grace said, she said, that's how I made my leave. After I found myself breaking down, she said, sometime click. It was me or him. I chose me. Started Gray Rock, kicking them out, ignoring, praying against them, police, ICE. Oh my God. D say, yes, indeed, danger there is there. Yes, ma'am. And this is Heather. Heather says he wants to be cordial so he can get fuel from you. Absolutely. If you have no remaining connections, then shut the door. Yes, ma'am. Maria said he's in a hoovering stage now, and I was spiritually dying. Don't go back. Vicky, mine says he's a Christian, believes in Jesus, and rebuke me if I go against him. Well, of course, they're always right no matter what. Choose yourself, sister. Oh, come on. That's some good encouragement. She said, not only do they want to hurt you, and then they will try to tell you that they will go up to you and your family and finish you all off. These knocks are crazy and dangerous. Yes, ma'am. She said, I just wanted you to everybody. Once you get away from me, stay away. I don't care if you have a baby. Just stay away from your narcissistic person. That's saying it in a nutshell. He was telling my son to kill me, and my son even started to try. Oh my God, Izzy. She said, thank God my child is healing now. You know, being with a narcissist is crazy. It's crazy. Their mind don't think like ours. What happens is we start to rationalize. Transplanting means they put something in you for you to carry. You always carry a transplant. You don't wear this on the outside. Transplant is on the inside. So whatever it is they transplant, they try to like he tried to transplant that code for the son to murder his own mother. She said, "I can't forgive that what was done to my body." And that's my problem. I cannot forgive anybody that tortures someone else, but you have to, because forgiving them, Taravia, is your release, not his release. She said, my mom and first boyfriend competed for the power in my life. No wonder they never got along. Absolutely. She had to have you, and nobody else was. Psychic powers is released up on you, and you don't if you don't leave, it means you are in agreement with the spirit. Well, hold on with that one. They have no empathy, none at all. On last night, I was there. I caught him doing this demonic stare. I was so afraid that I called my daughter to come and get me and said it was an emergency, but it was not. Kay, on last night. Kay, but you said that you were away from him. Okay. See, Kay, that demonic stare that you felt and the spirit you felt behind it that almost scared you to wet your pants and they was looking through you with such evil intensity that you've never felt anything like that. If he can stare at you and you don't see with your eyes, you see through your eyes, what do you think that was? Kay, you need, once you know HD Tudo, he's a greater narcissist. Once you know, you go and don't go back. What you want is the addiction. The narcissists come with the addiction. What you don't want is the pain. The pain comes with the narcissist. And in order to get away from the addiction, and in order to get away from the pain, you have to get away from the narcissist. There will never be any healing. There will never be any deliverance. There will never be any freedom. There will never be any victory. Never, ever. You have to get away. Once you know, you go and don't come back. H.G. Tudor. And I agree. God is a very present help in the time of trouble. God hears the cry of the righteous and delivers. God is the God of the impossible. He can do anything. He can do everything. He can do all things. But he can't do nothing without your consent, your release. because God won't bombard. The Holy Spirit's a perfect gentleman. But you got to want out, and you got to be tenacious to stay out. You got to be very vibrant with your choice. Once you know, you go and don't come back. H.G. Tudor. And TMG said relationship with the narc is always a parasitic host relationship, and the victims are the host. Always. Yes, ma'am. And parasites live inside a host for destruction. The stare is called the narcissistic stare. Research. Uh, okay, let me see what I did here. She said, narcissistic stare. My narcissist mom did this to me. Whoa. As a matter of fact, I have on one of my videos the narcissistic stare, and also my daughter, Dr. Carmen Bryant. Check it out. She said, no, on last night I was there. Okay, you got to stay away. You won't heal unless you stay away. One time he asked me, why don't you just give up? During the time, I didn't understand what he mean. Yeah, because once you give up, that's suicide. When a narcissist tell you to give up, they want you to commit suicide. They want it over because they won't release you till you die. You never forget those eyes. God is revealing what's inside that narc and the spirit of discernment. Yes, ma'am, all day. I left because of that stare. I really saw through him when he looked at me with rage. Yes, ma'am. Contemplative rage, just not rage. That was contemplative rage. They put themselves center and triangulate for control all around. God would always be stronger than the devil and evil. Always. Yes, they triangulate because you can't put, they won't let you pull on them too much. A narcissist won't. When you start to pull on them as if you own them, they disappear. They fade out because they can't love them. They don't want nothing pulling on them out of control. Not the narcissist. Not the narcissist. Well, my fam, I am back on live. Yes, 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 yes. I am so happy. I'm going to try to come on tomorrow. I do have my spiritual father who's all the way from Africa, Kenya, that's going to be with us during the weekend. I have a conference, so in between times, I'm going to try to get to you and spend an hour with you. I love you and I appreciate you, and I want you healed. Healing is the children's bread, the Bible says, and healing is your legal right. It's your right to be healed. It's your right to enjoy life. It's your right to be who you really are and the best at it. Because no one could beat you being you. She said, I never gave up. I gave him some of his own medicine. He did not want me to have a relationship with my family. She said, oh, blessings to you, saved by grace. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, God bless you all. Come to me, said the Lord. Yes. But I want you to know when you are a believer, the Bible said that we are of God, little children, and have overcome them. For greater is He that is in us than he that is in the world. 1 John 4:4. I want to leave that with you. 1 John 4:4. You have overcome them. You are stronger than they are. You're more powerful than they are. And they know this. So they transplant the wrong messages. So you'll miss the right messages. But tonight, we cause every illegal transplant to be uprooted in the name of Jesus. And who you gloriously are, wonderfully are, fearfully and wonderfully made, you will enjoy and become. Hello, Eddie. She said, you can do it 5 months and I'm ready. I'm really on a good track. Love yourself. Thank you for your help. Amen. Well, I love you to life. Let's do it. Let's be there for one another. Encourage someone that you know is a survivor and let them know that they can make it always. I will see you again. Thank you, survivors. You are awesome.